Hello everyone and welcome to Tier 1 today at Zandvoort. It's going to be a great race so far. I think we have quite a few different drivers in today. There's quite a lot of reserve drivers coming in to try and fill out the seats in Tier 1 and we're finally back. So excited to bring you more action from the TV screens. It seems like there's a little bit of an issue right now with some performance, but well, hopefully it's not going to be the end of the day. It's just a little bit of a settling into the server sort of thing and not any desync, as we have had quite a lot recently with the F1 game, but hey ho, we move. Currently we're riding with the 2S admin, that Bant, on his hot lap right here, as you see he's in Sector 3. Already rocking the beautiful Mercedes Larias. Oh, he gets a little bit sideways there on the exit in the final corner, but manages to keep it under control to get a run towards the start-finish straight, but he's probably going to abort this lap and try again later for another one, as he will have used up a decent amount of his battery and tires trying to do the laps. Not the greatest lap from him, but while that was happening, Owen, one of you... Oh! Well, there he goes, around he goes, so he definitely has to go back to the pits now and try a new lap, and it's always great to start out a stream with spins. Anyways, let's go on to Fox, see what he's doing right now. I think he's actually doing an in-lap, so we'll quickly try and find someone who's on a lap. Nico, welcome back Nico to F1. It's been a very long time since he's been here. Rocking the number 29 Haas today. Quite excited to see how he is able to do. We've got a beautiful helmet on him as well, so we'll have to wait and see. We currently have two drivers who have disconnected already. I'm not too sure what's happening right here. I'm just going to quickly have a look in the Tier 1 chat to see if there might be a restart or something. Just quickly, bear with me for 1 second. Alright, I'm just catching up in the chat to see if there's anything happening here that might be causing issues real quick. I'm gonna quickly, there you go, let's see. Okay. So, it could also just be that they've crashed on the lap. It is a difficult track, Zandvoort, so we'll have to wait and see if what's happening here. So it seems that Danny has managed to join the session, so welcome Danny to the session. Let's quickly... Alright, F1 Tier 1 discussion, let's see. Currently there's nothing about there being any sorts of issues, so maybe it is sort of a last to first challenge they've set themselves up, as Nico puts in a 114.6 on those medium tires. I'm not quite sure if the strategy is medium hard or what it is, but we'll have to wait and see. I do apologize if it seems to be a bit choppy on the stream. There's nothing I can do about that. Currently, was to try right on board, see if that fixes any issues. It doesn't look like there's any issues to it. So Nico continuing his second. Oh, gets a little bit on the curb, onto the gravel. Does he keep out the wall? No, he doesn't, but he doesn't seem to have any damage. So he will be able to slowly but surely make his way back to the pit lane after that little excursion he had there. Anyways, it should be okay for him, as he still has 12 minutes left to complete this session the way he wants to complete it. I'm just quickly catching up with the times. 2S Vito as well. Is he coming into the pit lane here? Is this the start of another hot lap? It is indeed coming into the pit lane, but he has done a 1:11.1. So Owen, the Tier 2 driver, is currently the fastest driver on track, but that's not Discount Pixel here. As reading in the chat that Fox has had a game crash. Hopefully he will be able to rejoin as fast as possible. Not sure what's happening there exactly, but it's quite stuttery. I'm going to try to relaunch the game real quick, see what is happening. So I'm going to quickly go to the interview screen, try and fix this while the qualifying is ongoing. I'll keep you updated if anything interesting happens. But for now, we're just going to bear with it. The F1 game is still not completely fixed. It's not just F1 as well. ACC has also been having quite a lot of server issues recently. So we just have to sit tight and do the best we can while they try and fix their servers. It is a very difficult job to do, so I'm going to quickly just message the host of the session to try and invite me again. And yeah, sorry for the inconveniences caused at the moment. I'm just going to quickly have to while we wait, you can listen to the beautiful menu music. As I've just been invited by... Oh, actually, wait. I need to make sure I join as a spectator. Bear with, I do apologize. I'm just gonna quickly make sure I don't accidentally show up as a driver itself. That would be kind of an issue, as there'll be an AI racing around the whole track. And just over 4 years since 2S began, it all started with Benson and I in the McLaren. Here we are again, and doing it as TMs like old times. We have Nico back and Danny too for a well overdue run. Let's go, boys. Alright. I think Tipsy here is very hyped to see what's happening here. But yeah, I'm gonna join as a spectator. Hopefully this works. And we'll be back in the game with a working stream. So just to quickly see what... Yeah, I'm back in now. It looks like that's actually helped. So don't really know what happened there, but we'll go back to the broadcast. Transition here is so far not much has happened, and it's a bit of a shame that we can't get the whole 2S squad of the early days back in. But we've got a lot of the drivers in, and I'm pretty sure they'll be excited to all race alongside each other yet again. Fox has had issues, which is why he's been disqualified. His AI disqualified him for him, so nothing he can do about that. But anyways, here we go. Vito on his second hot lap. Let's see what he's able to produce. Let's go on board with him. Zandvoort, it's a very quick and tricky track, and let's just say that he spins it into the barrier. He goes in turn 4, I believe it is. As with the turn 4. So that is not ideal for start for Vito's hot lap, and he will he's not going to reset to the pit lane. I'm still having those issues with the lag. I'm not quite sure what it is. I can't really fix it. I don't think it's not my game, because my game's running quite smoothly. So I'm not too sure why the cars are jumping back and forth. It looks more like a desync issue rather than anything else. So hopefully it's not being desynced too hard. I do apologize for the inconveniences being caused here. As I've tried to fix it, but it doesn't really look like it. Dragon, for the first time in a long time, has decided to do a quali run. And he's done a 10-minute 7 on the medium tires. Let me just quickly pull up the spectator menu. Just like I pulled up at the after party. Put on the tires and have a look at the strategies other people are going for at the moment. So Dragon, we know, is a very strong driver, currently sitting in P3 in the championship. However, Red Bull is P1 currently in the championship, but Bogdan is the championship leader at the moment, followed closely by Justin. However, Bogdan is only down in 7th at the moment, while Dragon is in 2nd, and I think Justin, he retired to try and start from behind. Or he had an issue or somewhere on track. Not quite sure what's happening there, but alright, so it looks like we might have a few more drivers coming. I'm just catching up to chat. Icewind has managed to join, and it looks like Ocean Chief is interested in joining as well, so that'll be great to see those two on the grid as well. It's a bit of a reunion today at Tier 1, it seems. It's quite a wholesome indeed to have all these I don't want to say old drivers, but all these classic 2S drivers are in for the race. But let's go to Bogdan. I'm just catching up in the chat. Justin says he spun, so it was a spin at the end of the day that ruled him out of qualifying early on. Also, it does say there's 50 minutes left in quali on the top left. That's definitely not the case. I'm not sure how many minutes are left, but as that happens, Bogdan on the medium tires does a 10-minute 5. So he is able to get into provisional pole position on those medium tires. Now Dragon has to try and catch up to him, or at least get ahead, to help Justin's case, or Dragon's case as well, in the championship. As Bogdan will be slowly but surely running away, because Zandvoort is one of those tracks where qualifying positions is very important. But that's a brilliant lap there from Bogdan. Let's jump on to Tipsy, see what he's able to do in that Mercedes. He's coming right up behind Bogdan. Not much of a slipstream he can get there, but still enough to get a little bit of speed, I think. But yeah, so Justin and Bogdan currently tied on points as Tipsy goes over curb, bounces around, hits the wall, and that is him out for now in the quali session. He had a pretty good set the one, but as you see, he's the Irishman has managed to bin it in the wall, and unfortunately that is the end of his quali lap, and those tires will not be too happy. Hopefully he'll be able to change to a new set before quali is over. Like I said earlier, I'm not sure when quali does finish, as for some reason it... Man, I'm really sorry for the stuttering. There's not much I can do about it. Oh, Pixel manages to spin on the curb. Oh, hello. I think I'm joined by a co-commentator. Hello, Panda.
Yes, you are. G'day, Strix. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Having a good time with the F1 game as always, and just preparing for the race that we have on our hand today at Zandvoort.
Is it the game stuttering, or do you think it's the your stream stuttering?
I'm not sure. It's definitely not my game. Well, it could be my game for sure. As I'm seeing it on my screen as well. It's not just on the stream. It is happening in game, but I'm running at a constant 60 FPS on the top left. So I think it's some sort of desync issue. Maybe I'm not quite sure. Let's go on board with Nico, who's on his outlap while all the other drivers are in the pit lane. But yeah, how are you, Panda? Have you ever commentated F1 before?
Well, funnily enough, you say that. I actually started my commentating career on F1. I don't want to say I've been a pro, but that's what I've mostly been doing for quite a bit now. And then I slowly moved over to GT3. So F1 is kind of more my forte than GT3 is, funnily enough.
Well, there you go, and that is Panda, our new commentator. He will be commentating the Nations Cup as well every Monday. That will be running for 4 races until the Christmas break, and in this race we'll also have a good little giveaway as well. So stay tuned for that one as well. It's going to be very exciting, completely new format. We've never done this before with the ACC. And Panda, if you're not sure, but it is tradition that every time I commentate F1, I need to mention ACC as I am the manager for it. So here we are with the weekly ACC plug, and yeah, I'm excited to have Panda on board as a commentator. He's gonna produce some pretty good looking broadcasts, and yeah, it's gonna be able to show you guys how racing is at ACC. Oh, Nico!
I mean, hey, listen. Oh, did he go off? No, he's off. Oh, that's horrible. Honestly, it is honestly, I cannot wait to start. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. It's my honor to be here, to be quite fair. But I do have to say, I think Nico's tires might be ruined after that. It did look like he had a slight lockup, so I think Nico might be in a bit of trouble there, Strix. I don't know how long is left in the session, but he might not have time for another pit stop.
That's very well said there, and I think Nico is probably punching himself in the gut right now because he had one run on mediums, one run on softs, and then he had his second run he was trying on softs, and it looked to be promising until he'd been in the wall, as Torsk has been disqualified for going the wrong way. That is quite interesting, as he's on track at the moment, so I do wonder if it was because he had a spin or something and the car was rolling backwards and maybe he wasn't able to catch it, but that's very unfortunate. But we're currently riding on board with Ocean Chief, who well, is in P10 even though he hasn't set a lap time. A lot of these drivers have not set a lap time yet. You see quite a lot. 2 have been disqualified. Zuka and Justin have both crashed. Danny, Icewind and Larson I think are yet to set lap times, and here Ocean Chief is in P10 without setting a lap time. Ocean Chief, for those of you who don't know, is generally quite good at picking up the points. I wouldn't say he's a top podium position contender every race, but he has been on the podium and won a few races as well. But most of the time he's very good at keeping clean and consistent in his sort of boomer ways, and manages to get some pretty good points. So maybe it's another one of those classic Ocean Chief drives.
See, the thing is, Strix, you're mentioning there that a lot of these people haven't gone out on laps. And the biggest thing at Zandvoort is because Zandvoort, you can, really overtake on Zandvoort, position is such an important thing. So having, being disqualified, in P16 and 17, if you know you have more pace than the guys in front, that screws up your whole race, because if you aren't able to overtake the guys in front, that means you are quite literally going to be staying at the back of the pack unless there's a massive crash on a safety car, which maybe will happen, but we'll have to have a look and see what happens.
Indeed we will, and Zandvoort is one of those tracks that is sort of likely to bring out a safety car as well, and we just see Danny doing his medium hot lap, or medium tire hot lap at the moment. But that is a very good point you bring up. Zandvoort is a track all about track position and strategy, so hopefully these drivers have something else, just rather than just pace, to bring them ahead of the field. But yeah, I do look forward to it, because the last few races we had at Zandvoort have all been quite chaotic, so it will be interesting to see, with all these reserve drivers today, what is going to happen. Bear in mind, reserve drivers does not mean they're bad drivers in any way, shape or form. It just means they're not used to driving on this grid every weekend, so we'll have to wait and see.
Thing is good, the lack of experience cause them Strix to you know, have a bit of a problem, maybe, you know, not be where their team wants them. That's the big thing. We'll have a look what they do, but it looks like all the drivers are performing decently. Of course, I think, you know, Tipsy Bob that we're on board with right here, he will need to set a lap. Not quite sure, you know, about the championship standings, but if there is a constructors championship, I can tell you the Mercs are not looking very good right now. P10, P12, definitely not where you would want to be right now in this quality session.
For sure not, and Justin's just saying in chat he managed to go from P13 to P6 after a safety car in SLR, so he's hoping for something similar. You're mentioning the Constructors' Championship, I'll quickly read them out for you. The standings as they are, and then everyone in chat as well, or watching the stream, can see what the standings are. So Red Bull is currently leading by 35 points over AlphaTauri, so Red Bull has 80 points, AlphaTauri with 45. Alpine close behind with 33, followed very closely by Haas with 31. And a bit of a gap to Mercedes, which has 18 points, followed closely by Alfa Romeo and Ferrari, who have 12 and then 10 points. And then Aston Martin and Williams are tied, with both constructors having 4 points, with McLaren having only 1 point. To see Tipsy getting out the way there of the Williams driver of, I believe that's Owen? Yeah, Owen, who's currently sitting on provisional pole with a 1 minute 10.1. But so that's the Constructors' Championship currently, but the Drivers' Championship is a bit more interesting. So for first place we have Justin and Bogdan, both are tied as off into the wall goes Owen, and he retires from the session as well. So that is one way to secure your pole position if he is able to do it. Bring out the yellow flags.
I think we might be seeing our final laps here. It depends on what McLaren is doing. Is he pitting? I think he is. I think, if we have this correct, there should only be, quite literally, a few minutes left of this session, because usually when they pit, that means that this might be their final push laps. As we see the second McLaren going out there, and the Ferrari now on a push lap has a clean track. Strix, the thing is, what position would you want to be in? Where would you want to start? And I know a lot of people say, you know, oh, I want to start in P1. But I mean, if you're starting P1 at Zandvoort and you can't hold that 1 second gap, that DRS might catch you. So, in realism, where do you think you would want to start on a track like this?
Well, I think we saw Max Verstappen do it this year at his home Grand Prix, and I think P1 is the way to go at Zandvoort. It's the same in ACC, with track position means everything on this track, and the further up you start, the better. You might have to defend a little bit with DRS, but the back straight, well, the start-finish straight is so small that it's not really large enough to have any effect of people overtaking unless they're right up behind you, and even then, you can still somewhat defend into turn 1, as you can take quite a lot of different lines through there and still be quick. So you can, if they go up your inside, you can just run wide and hold the speed better. And if you're defending the inside, you can just push them a little bit wide and hold your position as well. So I do think P1 is the best way to do it. But I think right now, I'm not quite sure what's happening. It says Ocean Chief's on an outlap, but I do believe quali is over now. So he has to retire the car before... yeah, okay, so he is an AI driver, so both the cars on track right now are AI. And both of them have to retire the cars to move on to the next session, which is what we're seeing right now.
That's good. Luckily, we can get the next session synced then. But actually, wait, it's Ocean Chief and McLaren right behind. It hasn't showed that he's crossed. Are we sure he's AI driver?
Yeah, for sure he is. The quality session finished, I think, before he left the pit lane. So I don't know. Yeah. I'm reading that it's a bug in the chat, and people saying just once this AI finishes his lap, he will be the session will move forward. But unfortunately for him, I think this does account for tire. Where I do apologize for everyone watching about the choppiness of the cars on track. There's nothing I can do about it at the moment. I've tried restarting my game. I've tried changing the settings on the stream. So I feel like it's just more of a lobby issue rather than anything else, and something out of my control. So I do apologize for that, but session is now over, as we see as Ocean Chief retires from the session.
And that's our starting grid for a race then, I assume?
It is indeed. So Owen does manage to get his pole position, so we're on to the standings here. So yeah, Owen in P1, followed closely by Hammer, who's making his return to F1 as well. Then Bogdan in P3, who's currently the championship leader, followed by Danny, Dragon, Vito, Ocean Chief, Icewind, Pixel, and That Bands, rounding out your top 10. Outside the top 10 is we have Nico, Tipsy Bob, Justin, Larson, Zuka, Fox, and Torska. So Justin is currently tied with Bogdan, who's in P3, but his teammate Dragon in P5 might be able to take the fight to Bogdan, so Justin can catch up and keep this championship battle as close as possible. So we do have fast drivers at the back of the grid, which will be always great entertainment to see.
You know what does worry me, Strix, is the gap between P1 and P2 is 3/10, and 3/10 lap around Zandvoort. And do you remember they're both on soft tires? 3/10 around Zandvoort, that is quite a lot of time. If Owen plays his cards right and he can build a gap, this race might really be in his favor.
You do bring up a good point, but I've seen you're not used to seeing Owen race. Owen is very much no offense to him, but he's a brilliant racer. He's a brilliant qualifier, but he does have a strong point in qualifying, and sometimes in the race it goes a little bit wrong. So you see these very hot lap drivers which can produce brilliant laps. When it comes to the actual pure race pace, they struggle a bit more because they have to focus for much longer. That's not taking away anything from Owen. I'm just saying this could be the case because he is a very strong driver, and he is a tier 2 driver as well. So seeing him on pole position in tier 1 is quite a feat indeed.
Whatever happens, it's gonna make a show for us, isn't it?
That is for sure. Tipsy says it is medium soft time, so I wonder if that is the strategy, to go for medium softs. I thought it was medium hards, because Zandvoort's quite a tire heavy track, but I guess not. We'll have to wait and see. Just currently waiting for the players to connect as we're having a look at the pit lane here in Zandvoort. A little bit less orange than I thought it would be, but hey ho. The Dutch RTR supporting the local driver Hammer and Dragon, so maybe we'll see some good results from them as well at the home Grand Prix.
The orange will come out after they celebrate.
That is true.
After he wins the race, I think we'll see enough orange, I believe, Strix. I think we'll see enough orange. We'll be able to identify it, let's say that.
You probably have a pretty good point there as well. So let's have a look at the tire selection. So Hammer and Owen both on soft tires, followed by Bogdan, Danny, and Dragon, who are all on the medium tires. So they're going to be trying the alternate strategy of medium soft. Vito, Ocean Chief, Icewind, Pixel also on soft tires, and That Bands is on mediums. And behind is a bit of a mix between medium and soft runners. People trying to decide which strategy is best. It looks like it doesn't really matter too much, although I do think the medium runners will have a slight advantage compared to the soft runners. And it seems that Ace Boy has left the session as he joined after quali, so I'm not sure if he's actually able to drive or not. So hopefully his AI doesn't get in the way too much. And well, actually, wait, I say that. Nico, I think currently is parked on the start-finish track, so I wonder if there's been any issue there. As he seems he's left the session, as he has been reporting game crashes as well. And yeah, it looks like his AI has now taken off, so hopefully Nico's game is able to get back up and running before the race starts.
I think that is going to be absolutely horrible, because the thing is, once these guys get on the grid, and they have to actually slow down now, I would recommend, because the thing is, once they get on the grid, they're going to have to be waiting for Nico, meaning they're going to be sitting on that grid forever with cold tires. I think as we see the AI take over here for Owen. Yeah, Owen and Hammer, that's definitely not going to fit them. Hammer's still getting a bit of tire warming, and you can see him really holding up the pack. AI should be taking over for him any second here. But the thing is at this point, when it comes to a race like this around Zandvoort, it's a lot of mind games. You want to make sure the other guys' tires are as cold as possible. You want to make sure you constantly put on that pressure. And honestly, I do believe, Strix, that if these drivers can play mind games with each other, this race is going to be something else. Because if you can trick someone into thinking something that isn't real, Zandvoort is all yours. As we see one of the Aston Martins.
Yeah, I believe that is Ace Boy. So, yeah, are we going to have to wait until the AI of Ace Boy? For some reason, he left the session, I don't know, 2 minutes ago. And for some reason, it's just when the cars are rounding the start-finish, or the last corner, that the AI has decided to go off. So they'll be on this grid for quite some time. And as you did point out earlier, you have to wait until Nico comes back, and I assume until Ace Boy comes back as well. So these tires will be well cold into turn 1. which is going to give us just even more entertainment. So stay tuned, guys, because this is going to be a great start of the race.
Assume Strix, I assume you'd take us through the first lap. I'll as Aston approaches the line, I'll make sure to shut my mouth and you can take us through the first corner. And honestly, Zandvoort, amazing track. Can't wait for this. Please, as Strix said, please stick around, guys. This is going to be an absolutely amazing race. And I think that Aston is now approaching the grid. Is he?
Yeah, let's go look
He's
at
already-
Aston while we're at it. Maybe let's get some sort of a. So he is the only driver that's going to be on warm tires. I'm not sure if he's actually in the session or not, but his tires will be warm. The others will be ice cold. So
He's going to be able to get up to P8 by this time.
Building up to the after party, and oh, what?
I think, I hate to say this, but I think the lobby might be bugged.
I think we might have a broken lobby.
I think our lobby might be.
I'm going to take a screenshot real quick of the standings. Yeah, it looks like we might have to restart. So.
Yep. There. Leave now.
Yeah. So there's a chat. Yeah. So we're going to restart the lobby. That is to be expected. It is broken. So to the interview channel, I guess, and see.
The interview channel.
Let's see what happens in this lobby.
Oh, I should also probably send you the overlays that I got made, or two or three pictures I got made for us. I'm just gonna send you the links to them.
Premiere those today. Oh wait, what? Wait, what is going on? So the race has started.
Do we want to ask them for a race?
I have no volume. But the race has started, so I'm going to go back to the broadcast. So, wait, what is?
Owen just left. Owen just left the session, so I think the drivers are noticing something's wrong. Okay, yeah, all the drivers are leaving, so I think this might be a restart.
There is definitely something odd happening. As the race randomly started, I got pulled back in midway through the. I missed the start completely, but it looks like there's been quite a lot of drivers. So yeah, there's a lot of drivers leaving the session now. As yeah, I've just been invited to join a new lobby, so I will leave this one as that is now AI driven. Hopefully this will maybe fix the lag issues I had as well. I'm gonna quickly restart the game then while I'm at it. Try that.
But be smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely shows that F1 2021 lobby, doesn't it? Definitely not the most great lobbies. They I don't want to say anything, but I do think Cody's have some work to do.
Yeah, that is the case. I mean, it is difficult to make servers. If you saw ACC, which usually has a bulletproof servers, has managed to break theirs as well a little bit. So it is very difficult to do. So hopefully.
Funnily enough, the ACC servers. Apparently, the servers when ACC released like the update, they didn't the software for the servers weren't fully on that same level. That's what caused a lot of the servers to go crashing and tumbling down. There has been a few hard fixes as far as I know, and most of the servers are running smoothly. But it's weird to think that they make it's kind of I think it's unreal kind of to think at the end of the day for a lot of people. Of course we can kind of understand it, but I think for a lot of people it's kind of how do you make a full game and then screw up the servers? So it's I think these companies. I think there's a lot more load on their servers, as you said, than we think, and it's not as easy as people might think, to just fix servers.
Yeah, for sure. So, if you guys get this, 1 sec. We have to be right back. We can enjoy the music. So let's transition to this Be Right Back graphic that's been created for us by Panda here. So I need to quickly go into spectate mode, and then we should be ready to go for the next server. While they try and fix what is happening, I'm gonna quickly turn down the F1 game actually, so we don't get too distracted by this background noise.
Please do make sure to stream your screen in Discord as well.
Oh yes, of course.
Thank you.
That does crash when. There you go.
You're absolutely.
So
thank you.
What is an F1 stream without issues, eh?
Ah, nothing.
It's alright though. We'll just be showcasing this nice little graphic while we do wait, as the drivers seem to already be readying up and preparing for their race here at Zandvoort. I'm just quickly keeping up with the chat. And yeah, it seems like people are just getting ready to go to the grid again. So hopefully this time around, Aceboy doesn't break the lobby and we can get going. He has already apologized in chat and on YouTube stream and everywhere, so I'm not quite sure what happened, but he joined a bit late, I believe, and then it, for some reason, decided to just make his car do laps while everyone had to wait, so...
Yeah. That was definitely putting on a mileage. Might have to have a look at that engine after after the race. I need a new engine replacement, you know?
Indeed.
No,
Yeah,
we're not that realistic. Don't worry, guys.
We are loading into the lobby now, so do bear with us, and we will have a great race on our hands, that's for sure.
You know what's the one thing, Strix, that we haven't considered is all these drivers will now be on 0% tire wear. So if they can warm up their tires on this outlap, but they can also spare them some damage, this race has definitely changed, because this might become a one-stopper for the soft guys, and the medium guys might, have a bit of a, I'd say a bit of a problem, but they might, that alternate strategy might mess with them a bit more than we would think.
Yeah, for sure, and just those few laps that they have of less wear will have a big difference in their performance at the start at least, and maybe even mean that they can go 2-3 laps extra. So yeah, we have the race session starting in about 10 seconds, so I'm going to jump back to the F1 game on broadcast, and hopefully we'll have a brilliant race ahead of us. So here we are, the drivers lining up for their outlap, and yeah, we are on the way for our outlap. This time it doesn't look like there's any issues with any drivers on the grid. Just quickly, let me just disable that. Gap C. And it looks like everyone in the top 10 has decided to take the same tires, which is very important, by the way, because you will get disqualified if you do not take the same tires after a restart. So it's good to see that every single driver has managed to follow this rule. And we are underway now, and the only difference is Aceboy is no longer an Aston Martin, but an Alpine driver. Sorry, a Williams driver. I got confused between the blue.
Say that's it's very blue Alpine. No, honestly, I do have to say, Owen there off the start, looking very frisky. He was when those lights went green, he really got off. He said, "Okay, well, let's get this done. I want to win this race. This is mine. Come on." Really, I think he's very excited. Especially himself, Hammer. You can see them. I know the swerving is to warm up tires, but it makes them look so happy. It makes them look as if they're gonna enjoy the race. I think they're definitely gonna like this race. I think they have a lot of excitement. We're gonna see what happens. Hopefully, everyone will keep it clean in turn 1, but it is Zandvoort, and that's rare. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. And here comes up the pit stop strategy. It says soft hards or medium hards. Tipsy in chat was saying medium softs might be viable, so we'll have to see who the tire kissers or tire whisperers, some might say, are today in this race. But Owen, looking very eager to have a drive. So he looks very motivated in that car, as you were mentioning earlier. As him and Hammer actually quite far ahead of the rest of the grid. Bogdan backing up the grid a little bit. Might try and get a little bit of extra heat he can into those medium tires to try and get a better start compared to the soft tire runners ahead of him, but it will be difficult. Dragon as well has to be careful, as behind him is 4 soft tire runners, so that might lead to an interesting start between those drivers, as well as we see the pit stop strategy yet again, as all the drivers are now lining up to the grid, and we should be going green in a few seconds.
I'll be your backup. Let's go.
Very exciting stuff indeed, as all the cars are just waiting patiently for the lights to come on, and here we go. 1 red light, 2 red lights, 3 red light, 4, 5, We're gonna go out very soon and the cars are revving their engines. Let's see who gets off the launch first, and it looks like Owen's got a brilliant start. I can't really change the camera angle. Here we go. Owen with a great start, and Bogdan as well manages to make us past Hammer. Hammer getting attacked already up around the outside by Danny. Danny up to P4 as well. Gets past Hammer, so Hammer's lost 2 positions at the start of the race. Let's jump back to see anything else. Hammer losing another position potentially to Vito, trying to go around the outside, but he stays ahead just for now. So going to go side by side down the not so straight. And who is the first person to concede? It looks like Vito has the inside corner for the next few corners, and he will try and still attack. They're still going side by side for this section of the lap, but Hammer does look like he's managed to stay ahead of Vito for now. So brilliant little scrap there between Hammer and Vito, but Hammer already lost 2 positions at the start to Danny and Bogdan. They've had brilliant starts, both of them. And that's great for Bogdan's championship hopes, because he is now leading by quite some margin. Let's jump down the field a little bit further to try and have a look at where everyone else is going. So Justin's already made his way up to P10, starting in P12. You see that Vance and Fox battling out there in the background. Let's jump on that bit. It looks very entertaining. He is Rene, or that Vance as many of you call him. Gets a little bit sideways there on the exit, but manages to keep the car under control and now has a decent amount of cars to defend from. Let's jump back to Icewind, who seems to be lining up an overtake on Dragon. Is he able to make it happen? He's looking down the inside. Dragon trying to keep the speed and momentum around the outside to defend. Doesn't quite look like he has it just yet. So still running side by side. And there goes Icewind up the inside, and he has the position very briefly until Dragon has the inside for the next corner in turn 5. And whoever gets a better exit is ahead into the next few corners. It looks like Icewind does manage to overtake Dragon, so Dragon does drop down a position.
What an absolute start there. I mean, first of all, the start we just talked about Bogdan. Bogdan and Danny both overtaking Hammer. I mean, come on, Hammer has to be so upset. He's a soft runner. There is no way those medium runners should be getting past him, and somehow they just did. You know what I mean? That's kind of the same thing. Say, oh my word, someone's off there. Wait, who's that off?
That's Vito.
That's the Ferrari of Vito. Oh no, that's going to ruin his race. He's going to have to, he might be able to go in the hards to the end of the race, but that is going to absolutely ruin his race. He needs to get back to the pits as soon as possible. As you saw there, overtaking against Zandvoort is so lethal, because that overtake that we saw happened between 2 to 4 corners. And that's the thing is that Justin has to consider now, because if that Ferrari behind him, Pixel, can keep up with him, Justin might not have this position secured. If Pixel gets his nose in now, he might be able to get it. Does he? I don't think he does. I think Justin might have just sealed that off at the exact right time. Red Bull looking really strong, already P6 and P8. They might be on for quite a good result here. They honestly might be on for quite a good result here.
Yeah. So Red Bull is definitely the leading constructors for a reason. I'm just going to jump to Nico, who seems to have been the car as well in turn 1 somehow. So Nico and Vito not having a great day at the office so far, and it looks like quite a struggle for them. But anyways, we'll see how they manage to fare throughout the rest of the race. I was in voice chat with them earlier. They were saying they were struggling quite getting the setup under control. They couldn't quite get the car to handle the way they wanted to, and I think they just ran out of time really to try and get comfortable in that seat. So that is not ideal when you join a race and you know that the confidence is not really there. Also, Nico says he was having issues with his game crashing, so that might not have helped his practicing either. But anyways, here we are, Aceboy on that Vance, looking to pick up some points for today. That Vance obviously on medium tires, Aceboy on soft tires, but Aceboy starting 18th, now lining up a move to go up for 11.
And he is going to make it stick through turn 1. That DRS just absolutely catapults him, and the grip of the soft just gets him far away from that Mercedes. And that is probably one of the first times I've seen a Williams confidently overtaking Mercedes like that. Absolutely brilliant work from Aceboy. He only has one person in front of him, Fox, about 2.1 seconds off the road. So if he can catch up with him, he might be in the points. Looking now at ETB Danny, still chasing down Mr. Bogdan, but Hammer is not able to catch up them, or is he? I mean, Strix, you know, he has a gap of 3 tenths, but the thing is he just isn't able to overtake them. And it's weird, because Hammer's on soft and the 2 guys ahead of him are both on mediums, and that's basically just giving Owen the go-ahead, saying, listen, Owen, you're on soft, just pull away, go for it, and build a gap to Hammer so that he can't catch up.
Indeed, I think that is the case, as well as Vito has retired from the session. I wonder what's happened there. Let's go on board with Nico, but it's brought up the safety car, so that's very interesting for pit strategy. It's very early on, so I do believe most drivers will be staying out. Well, as I'm saying that, actually, Owen goes into the pit lane. I was hoping we could see what happened to Vito, but it looks like he's just crashed the car down the isn't straight, I'm gonna call it, and has just lost the car. And out comes the safety car. So we did say safety cars are prominent here at Zandvoort, but I didn't think we'd get one so early. Owen coming out right ahead of Fox, already on the hard tires. This might be a bit of an early call, to be honest, from Owen. But he is trying to get a free pit stop here. He's the only driver who... Well, actually, no, that's not right. Pixel Ace Boy, that band's Tipsy, and Zuka, so all the drivers at the back of the grid have all decided to go in for the hard tire. So a lot of people taking the free pit stop. But if it's anything to go off Zandvoort, a safety car might be... well, one safety car might not be all we will see today. So a risky strategy, to say the least, but maybe the best one to win the race.
See, here's the thing is, Strix, is you say it's too early to go into the hards, but the thing is even if there's another safety car, all Owen needs to do is just keep his car out long enough and keep those hards where they need to be. They can easily go. They should theoretically easily be able to go to the end of the race. So if Owen, really cares for them, he's probably going to have a lot less tire wear than the other guys that on the other tires, meaning he should be able to theoretically extract more pace out of them later on. At the start, it is going to be very important for him to stay right behind, Justin's Red Bull. But if he can start climbing positions, I think we could still see a P1 from Owen, and that's something pretty big, saying for someone in P8.
That's very true, and Owen, he is very good at managing tires as well. We've seen it before in Tier 2. So if he's able to bring his expertise to Tier 1, that would be great. I'm just going on board with Bogdan because I noticed it was the Aston Martin safety car, and I just think that car is beautiful, and this is the best view we're going to get of it. So I just appreciate this car a little bit, and if you've seen it in real life, you know it just sounds absolutely amazing. But obviously the Mercedes and Aston Martin I believe they use the same engine, but Mercedes is tuned, or actually no, the Aston Martin is tuned a bit differently, that's why they sound different. But anyways, looks like Bogdan backing up the field a little bit to the safety car. He's built quite a gap to the safety car. Maybe is safety coming in this lap, or are they going to wait for Nico to catch up to the pack?
We will wait for Nico, but Nico just has to get in a certain gap, so we might see one more lap on the safety car. Maybe someone pitting? It's possible. But the thing is, Bogdan now, those mediums, this is going to be a very touchy strategy, because the thing is, does he now pit for softs and hope there's another safety car? Or does he go on those hards and hope there isn't a safety car? And that's the biggest thing. We're gonna have to see what these racers do, and I think that's gonna be the most interesting subject. Also, it is something good to notice. Our two championship leaders in the constructors, the two Red Bulls P5 and P7 now, and Cos Dragon right behind SK Icewind, who's on softs, by the way. So if those softs are a bit worn out, Cos might have a better chance at getting that P4, and Justin could even get P6. So I think these Red Bulls, we are definitely going to see a lot more of today, Strix. I think there's a reason they're leading that championship, and that reason is valid. And I think it's a safety car go.
Indeed he is, and Bogdan throws down the hammer and off he goes, blasting away. What a brilliant restart for him. There's no way anyone behind can do anything. Danny swerves a little bit to the inside to try and cover off a hammer, but hammer is nowhere near close enough to do anything about it. And let's go jump back to this battle between Justin and McLaren spinning. That's Ocean Chief off the road there. But there's I don't think there was contact, so I just sort of spun it on his own. But Justin manages to get his way up to P6, Owen up to P7. There's a bit of a battle between these guys going on, and they've all sort of evened it out yet again. So Owen back up to P7 on those hard tires. It's a great position for him. Both the ECOS drivers of Dragon and Justin, or the Red Bull drivers as well, right next to each other on the same strategy. So Justin's had a brilliant start to the race, to be fair, considering Dragon qualified in, I believe, P5? It was, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's still in P5 and Justin now up to P6, so he's been running this strategy beautifully so far, and it just shows how brilliant these Red Bull drivers are, and also why Justin is a contender for the championship. But let's not discount Bogdan, who is also tied with Justin in that drivers' championship battle.
If these Red Bull drivers are smart now, they have to look at each other's pace and they have to say, listen, if one's faster than the other, let him go, let him catch Icewind as fast as possible, because we need to get close to that podium. Of course, those softs won't be lasting forever, but these Red Bulls switching like this, oh, there they go. These Red Bulls switching might even mean, I mean, hell, it could even mean a P1 and P2 for Red Bull. We don't know. The thing is this race has so many variables, we honestly don't know. And I mean, as we're talking about P1 and P2, right behind Dragon, already looking feisty. So I think Dragon's job right now is just say, hey, listen, hold up Owen, I need to go. Justin's probably telling him that. So it's going to be an interesting battle. I think Bogdan, I do personally think that Danny, I think their race is going to be extremely interesting, because staying on those mediums was a tough call, but they can maybe make it work if they're lucky.
That's for sure, but every single driver who started on the medium tires in the top 10 have stayed on them, so there must be a reason for that as well. And now we have to look at what Owen is able to do with those hard tires. Are those medium tires falling up to the point where the hard tires are just as fast, or are they still faster? We'll have to wait and see. But it looks like for now that Owen is managing to keep up quite well, even though there's a decent amount of dirty air between the two Red Bull drivers. But it is sort of a DRS train moment. Dragon not far enough behind Justin to try and overtake, but also Owen not too far away. I'm getting jumbled in my words. There's the DRS train. Let's just say that. As I also go on.
It isn't a DRS train yet, because it hasn't been 2 laps since the safety car, so DRS isn't enabled yet. But don't worry, we get what you're trying to say. Don't worry, we get what you're trying to say.
I got jumbled up in my own words there a little bit. Sometimes that happens, but hey, we move on. So, anyways, let's have a look at what's happening up ahead with Danny and Bogdan. These two drivers still running quite closely to each other. Danny, we know, is a very strong driver. He races in SLR as well, so he will have a decent amount of practice for this track, as this is the last time we're racing this track before SLR and 2S do the rotation. Sorry, not the last track, the last race we're doing on Zandvoort. So Dragon will be well accustomed, which is sort of showing here. He's staying about 5/10 behind Bogdan, but nothing too crazy at the moment. I think they're just sort of dragging each other along, trying to build a gap behind, and maybe Danny will try and make an undercut move on Bogdan a little bit later on.
We'll probably see him do something, but he does have the DRS down this straight. Is he close enough to make a move? No, he isn't. The thing is, at Zandvoort, they say theoretically you should be 3/10 away from the guy ahead when you're at the start of the main straight. So, if Bogdan can just keep that gap just over that, or you can ensure it's over that, then he's going to make Danny's life really hard. And the thing is, if Danny stays behind Bogdan, he's going to cook his tires, and that dirty air is really going to start affecting him. So it's definitely going to be interesting seeing what happens, what unfolds there, if you can say that.
Yeah, I saw there was a yellow flag, and that is that Bans who spun around. I'm just looking at the front wing, and it looks like there is front wing damage. He has no end plate on the right side of the car, and he is pulling into pit lane. So there's another pit stop for that Bans here, having to repair the car after a spin. So that is very unfortunate for him. Excuse me. We jump back to the battle here with Owen and the two Red Bulls. It looks like Owen's just staying behind just for now, as Justin trying to pull away from Dragon. Not really as successful as I thought it would be when the two drivers swapped around.
I mean, it could be that Justin had a bit more pace in the slipstream of Dragon, and that could be the problem. As you're on board with Ace Boy now, 2/10 away from Torska. He should have DRS. Can he make the move? Torska goes onto the inside. He's gonna go. Ace going around the outside. They're going head to head through this. I think that was contact. I think Torska did touch his front wing. We'll see if that was damage. I don't think it is. And Ace Boy has made that move stick brilliantly. What a move! Got it done through turn 1. That is clean. It's neat. That is how you're supposed to race.
And that was exactly what I was talking about earlier. How you can take different lines into turn 1 and still come out ahead. And here we go. We had Ace Boy taking the outside line as Torska moved to the inside to defend, but there's nothing he could do against Ace Boy's supreme exit there. Brilliant overtakes for Ace Boy to get into the points. Jump back to the leading battle now. Danny's managed to catch up. As he said, it was about 3/10 he needed down the start finish. He's now, well, 4/10 behind, but if he could pull that gap down a little bit, we might see a move for P1 here soon.
The thing is, that McLaren just looks a tad unstable, if that that makes sense. It just looks a bit unstable. So see, he does have DRS down here. There was a 3x gap. Let's see if he has. See, he just doesn't have enough speed. He could have probably gone for a dive bomb there, granted. But the thing is that McLaren just isn't quite stable enough, and that's currently the bane of his existence. Oh, and that's a big spin.
That's Bance in the front there.
Bance again. Started Bance again. Oh, for Bance, definitely not suiting him. Yeah, that is not where you would be expecting those Mercedes cars. But I mean, hey, life's life, I guess. But look how Danny's less than 2 tenths away now. Bogdan, I genuinely do think that Danny wants to get this done. He knows he's faster than Bogdan, and he says, listen, let me by, I'm going to force my way. All he needs to do is get that 3/10 gap to the start of our start-finish straight, and he has a chance here, Strix. He has a genuine chance.
Yeah, you can see him trying to find different lines here to break out of the dirty air. This doesn't seem to be working 100% for him, but he is close to Bogdan this time around. He is a bit closer than it seemed like it was last time around. But it's, as you said, it was 3/10 that was needed, and this is 4/10, so this shouldn't be quite enough, but he's using his battery as well this time. Bogdan's not using his battery to defend. Bogdan moves to the inside to defend. Is Danny able to keep it around the outside? Bogdan sort of runs a bit wide, a little bit of contact between the two drivers, but nothing too major, and Bogdan does stay ahead for now. A brilliant little scrap between the two drivers, and Danny has just so much more work to do now to get into that P1 position.
Honestly, Bogdan, if I was Bogdan, I think Bogdan might be a bit rattled, because he's just seen what could possibly happen, if that makes sense. He's just seen, listen, if I'm not careful, if I don't drive a perfect drive, Danny will overtake me, and he is not scared. And, Danny going around the outside there at the first turn really shows that he has the power. He knows he can do it. And I genuinely do think that if he isn't playing, he's definitely going to make that move in the next few laps.
Yeah, for sure. As you see him with the DRS again, trying to get closer and closer to Bogdan. And it's the same story as last lap it was. We're rounding into the final two corners now. I see what he's able to do. He's a little bit closer around this time, but he's going to wash out a bit from the dirty air. And there is the washout. And look at him. He gets a little bit of a better exit this time around. Now you say he's within 3/10. He's actually almost 2/10. This is going to be the move for P1. It looks like it is. Danny with the DRS makes the move before the corner, and he takes the P1 position. So Danny is up to P1 and now has the job of defending from Bogdan rather than attacking.
It was a beautiful overtake. It was kind of just, lap 13. If on lap 13, Danny was like, here's a taste of what I can do. I might not, who knows? And then on lap 14, it was like, okay, Bogdan, get out of my way. This is my turn. I don't want you here anymore. Bye-bye. That's quite literally what he did. And honestly, that just shows you that, once again, mentally, it's something else. Owen's still chasing Dragon, but just not able to extract that pace. Now, theoretically, the mediums should start going off right around here. And that is a Haas off of Nico. Ooh, damages. I think he might have damaged his front end plate there. Not very smart. Yeah, Nico not really in a position to do anything. I don't want to say it's surprising that he hasn't retired, but usually people retire there, so well done to him for sticking that out. But yeah, Owen's hard should now start performing, so hopefully we can see Owen making a move, making 1 or 2 moves, because he genuinely needs to get past those Red Bulls if he wants any hope at getting higher than third in this race.
It's very true is that Danny actually sets the fastest lap of the session after having overtaken Bogdan for P1, and now we see Owen with the DRS. The thing is, it's a DRS train, so Dragon doing a great job of holding Owen behind Justin. It seems like they're sort of working together as Owen's getting ever so close to Dragon's rear end there, stepping out his own a little bit, but nothing too crazy. He does manage to catch. There's another yellow flag in Sector 1, and that is, I don't know what it is, but
Mercedes, that is a Mercedes. I think that might be Mr. Bance.
It does indeed look like Mr. Bance has lost his way.
I think there was a Ferrari as well. Sorry, if I wasn't, I think that might have been. Oh, sorry, Alfa Romeo. Sorry, I think that was Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, the Alfa Romeo of Zuka as well had a bit of an issue. And while that was happening, I quickly caught it on a glimpse of it on the track map that Ocean Chief overtook Pixel, but before I could change my cameras, it already happened. So we're sticking with this battle between Owen and the Red Bulls for now. I'll try and keep my eyes peeled a bit more for more more action further up and down the field. So we'll have to wait and see.
I do see some orange in the grandstand. I I did see some orange there for a second in the grandstand, so we might have to have a look once I come around. My question is, Strick, so who was our local driver? Who's our Dutch driver today?
So we have Hammer, who's currently in P4, and Dragon, who is in P6. Those are the two Dutch drivers I know of. Aceboy, I know he's from Belgium, but that is a neighboring country of the Netherlands, so that doesn't really count for anything. And oh, sorry, how could I forget? Nico is also a Dutch driver, and he is racing his home Grand Prix as well. Nico, I would say he's had quite a lot of success at Zandvoort, but that has been in ACC rather than in the F1 game, so his good memories from this track are racing GT3s rather than F1 cars. But as we see, that bounce does pull into the pit lane and he does retire from the session. It's sort of to be expected with all the issues he's had so far in this race.
Not really his race today. But yeah, no, definitely. If we have a look, I mean, listen, those drivers, the local drivers, probably going to want to get good, get a good result. Hammer, of course, doing good. Stay on those softs till lap 16. I mean, no, Justin has closed up to him because those softs on lap 16 must be absolutely cooked. So Hammer might be going for a soft medium strategy here. That is very likely.
Yeah, well, you mentioned it. He pulls into pit lane.
Wow, let's have a look what tire he goes on to. Actually, I want to have a look at this. Hammer, what do you take? What are you taking, Hammer?
Medium.
Mediums. There it is. Mediums. He's taking those mediums till the end. 20 laps. Should be able to do it. These Red Bulls, however, P4 and P5 now. Doing good, but they haven't stopped yet. And that's the biggest thing. Those two Red Bulls haven't stopped yet. Now the question is, when are they going to stop? Because the thing is, we just saw that those softs can theoretically go 16 laps. So if they push those mediums to lap 20, if they take them to lap 20, they could theoretically push the softs to lap 16. But I think they might want to go a bit longer than that, Strix.
Yeah, it's all about maximizing your strategy, and running too long on the soft tires will hurt you more than running too long on the mediums, as the tire dropout for the softs is enormous compared to the mediums. But anyways, they're catching up to Icewind now, this little Red Bull and Williams pack. Icewind might be a little bit undercut here from Hammer, the other Dutch driver. So wouldn't surprise me if we see Icewind pull into the pits now. Let's jump on board with Dragon to see. Yes, he does. So Icewind does pull into the pits, and he's going to throw on those medium tires as well, I believe, to try and, well, basically protect the undercut that Hammer has left for him. But Hammer has come out in a bit of traffic, so that's going to cost him as he comes down the start-finish straight, just breezes past Torska. They're up to P10. Now it's going to be interesting looking at the pit exit. Looks like Icewind might just have had Hammer. Let's see if Hammer gets a good exit. No, it doesn't look like it. So Icewind manages to cover up Hammer by about 1.5 seconds with his undercut. So he goes out ahead, back up to what is provisionally P3. But we have to wait and see with the tire strategy between the two Red Bull drivers what they are able to produce when they come into pit lane and come out again.
Exactly, that is the thing. Those Red Bull drivers now probably hoping to pull as much of a gap as they can and get as far away from Owen as they can. And I mean, poor Owen as well. He's been stuck behind him for so long. So I think he might. I don't honestly think Owen might, be laying back and saying, "Listen, I'm just gonna stay near DRS. I'm not gonna bother you. You guys do your own race. I'm just gonna sit here, wait for you to box, and then I'm gonna overtake you." And that's all he really needs to do, because everyone in front of Owen is a medium. So theoretically, correct me if I'm wrong, but theoretically, Owen is now provisional pole.
Well, he had his provisional pole in the quality section, but yeah, provisional P1.
Yeah. Sorry, you get what I'm saying. Sorry,
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying. It's late at night, okay? It's like 8:30.
Just pulling your leg a little bit, don't worry. Yeah, Owen on that hard tire, he has opted for the one-stop strategy doing so. And that might come to help him at the end of the race, but as we do know, soft tires compared to old hards, so new fresh soft tires compared to old hards, so you gain about 1.5 to 2 seconds a lap. So we'll have to wait and see when the medium drivers come into pit lane, and I do believe it's in about, let's say 5 or so laps, so to give them about 10 laps on the soft tires. We have seen they manage to run to 16 laps, and then we see Tipsy Bob still on the soft tires with 13 laps. But I do believe these medium tire runners are going to try and eke out as much performance as possible in the mediums before they explode, to get fresh softs that will last them the whole way to the end of the race once they do eventually make their pit stop.
Now, Strix, unlike real life, we can actually, in simming F1, step out and have a bite to eat. So if you would excuse me, I'm just going to grab some food and then I'm going to be back in 2 seconds. I just see a move here. Oh, no. No, don't worry, Bogdan, just faking us. He didn't go for the move. No, don't worry. Sorry that I'm going to be back in 2 seconds. I do apologize. Yeah, I'll be right back. I'll bring some for you too. Don't worry.
No worries.
Bring some.
Thank you very much. I look forward
Anything
to
you
it.
want?
Just whatever you feel, I will like you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
So yeah, just whatever you feel like. Surprise me, I guess. As, so while he goes to get some food to eat and maybe a little bit of break from himself, we see Ocean Chief a little bit of a battle with Zuka. And Zuka spins out, and in the background I believe Fox is now crashed as well. Was that a reset to track? I'm not sure, but maybe I don't think it was. But here comes Zuka coming around the outside, and is he going to take Fox? Yes, he does. So a bit of a trouble there between the two drivers, and Icewind is now caught up to the back of Aceboy. Let's try and run on board with him, as Aceboy is also caught up to the back of Tipsy Bob on those older soft tires, as Fox drives into the pit lane and retires from the session. Let's see, a bit of a DRS train here with Icewind, Aceboy, and Tipsy. But nothing Iceway shouldn't be able to navigate around. He is on 1 lap old medium tires. They will be nice and fresh, ready to pounce on the drivers ahead of him. I'll just quickly keep an eye on the other relatives to see if anything else is happening. Doesn't really look like it, so we're going to go down the start-finish straight. He's very close to Aceboy. Is this going to be a DRS train or not? As Tipsy looks like he's pulling into the pit lane as well, as Aceboy was following him almost into the pit lane. Aceboy still gets his DRS up the inside, tries Iceman, goes for it, but Aceboy is he able to cover off like he did earlier when he did the overtake around the outside. He prefers that line, it seems like, but he has a great exit and stays ahead of Iceman for now. So brilliant little scrap between these two drivers. Iceman not able to make it stick, as in the background is the house of Nico spinning yet again. He's having an absolutely horrendous day today at the office. But what is happening here with Icewind and Aceboy means that Hammer is catching up to these two drivers, and he might be able to benefit from this as well. I'm going to quickly mute my phone. I'm sorry that was unmuted. I'm just going to quickly, yeah, there you go. So, I'm going to just take a little bit of a breather here for a second, and just try and capitalize, well, not capitalize, but see what is happening. And so far, it just seems like Icewind is trying to make his way past Aceboy, but Hammer is right up behind him now. And Thor says it's just me with footage bogging down a bit. Well, I think it has to do with the lobby. I've tried to make my game run smoothly. I've tried to restart the stream. I've tried everything, but nothing seems to work. But what is working here is Icewind making an overtake on Aceboy with the DRS, makes his way past. And Aceboy is now down to P8 and has to protect from Hammer, who's only 3 tenths behind. So Aceboy falling down a few positions on this one-stop strategy. Not really working out for him, as he pitted under the safety car, as well as Owen. As Owen is actually really close by the two Red Bulls to see what he is able to do in this little Red Bull train, as Nico eventually does end up going into the pit lane and retiring from the session. I'll take a little bit of a breather. I look forward to seeing what my South African colleague will bring back from the food stands, but until then, we'll have to wait and see, as the intervals have now decided to die on me for some reason. There's nothing I can do about that. But it looks like Nico retired the car in the pit lane, but his AI has decided to take it out.
Unfortunately, the catering company decided not to make food tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're just gonna kind of sit here. Sorry.
That is okay.
I do apologize.
It's a good thing that I was well fed before I joined the commentary booth.
And that is Danny now, boxing for the soft?
So that is Danny on the softs, and he's found a brilliant gap actually on those soft tires. Icewind sets a fastest lap of the session, but I do suspect that it's not going to take long before that is in Danny's hands, as we see Aceboy trying to defend on the inside from Hammer, trying to overtake on the outside. It looks like Hammer just has too much speed and too much grip in those tires. Hammer makes his way past Aceboy up to P7. So this hard tire strategy not really working out for Aceboy as much as he would have hoped.
What I think, all I'm saying is, I think those hard tires will eventually come to their senses. All I'm gonna say. I think they'll eventually come to their senses. But the biggest thing now is the Red Bull guys need to decide when they're gonna box, because they can't double stack this. They're too close. They'll lose way too much time. So if Justin boxes, right? If Justin boxes now, Koss will have to try and hold off Owen. Which will be extremely hard. If Dragon boxes, if Dragon boxes, Justin will have to hold off Owen, but Justin has a bigger gap to Owen, meaning he might be out of the DRS. So these Red Bull guys need to play their cars extremely well. As we see Bogdan also pitting there for the soft. This is going to get interesting. Wait, is that Justin also pitting? Sorry, that was Justin also pitting. So they've decided to play that game then.
Indeed
now it's just Owen. What it is now is Owen and Dragon. Let's see what he can do. And as we see Red Bull, they're going past Hammer. Narrowly going past him, but he's passed. He's passed, don't worry. The Red Bull now needs to chase down Icewind and Bogdan as fast as he can. Dragon has an amazing feat. Let's see if he can hold off Owen. The gap is rapidly closing, right under 3/10. Let's see what they do. Let's see what happens.
It's going to be an interesting battle for sure, and I've just been keeping an eye on the relative. Danny has been catching by about 2 seconds a lap on those soft tires, so Owen is definitely going to get swallowed up by Danny and Bogdan by the end of the race, so he will probably only get P3 if he's able to hold off Icewind as well. Icewind also getting the, well, I wouldn't say undercut, but Justin getting the overcut on Hammer. Here's Hammer was ahead of Justin before he pits, so there he goes. Dragon into pit lane. Owen is promoted up to P1 now, and Danny is overtaking Dragon, and so will Bogdan before Dragon comes out of the pit lane. Dragon, it's going to be interesting. Will he come out of the pit lane ahead of Justin, behind Hammer? Where will he come? As Justin was very close by when he came out the pit lane to Hammer. Is he able to do it? Looks like Hammer just has a bit of an has a bit of an edge over Dragon, and does manage to sandwich himself in between the two Red Bull drivers.
The biggest problem here, Strix, is first of all, once Danny, sorry, I'm gonna go up to the first battle as well. Once Danny catches up to Owen, first of all, he has to worry about dirty air, right? And it isn't easy to pass it down, as we've seen. But the second hardest thing is if Danny's gonna take all of that life out of those tires, they aren't gonna last as long as some of the others might have.
That's very true, and there is still 11 laps left in the race. We have seen the soft tires going to as far as 16 laps, so we do know they can last that long. But if Danny is not preserving them, that is a different story. So we'll have to wait and see at the end of the race what is the better strategy here. I'm not sure if Owen will last all the way to the end of the race. He has to do 30 laps on those hard tires. That is quite an ask, but he will have known that when he pits it, so he most likely will have been tire saving the whole way through. And Dragon on those fresh soft tires is making his move on Hammer before the turn 1, and he easy pass for Dragon. He's back up to P6 now.
Those two Red Bull boys have quite a task, but if they're smart and they work together, I'm telling you, we could still see one of them on that podium. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna jinx. I'm just saying there is a possibility that we could still see one of them on the podium, and I don't think we should discount them just yet.
That's for sure. They look like they have quite a lot of pace in them. And you see Justin already caught up to Icewind, and then he has basically to just catch up to Owen. But I'm keeping on board with Danny. He should be able to get an easy overtake on Owen considering his tire choices. But here we go. Justin, 7 seconds behind Bogdan, and only about 5 tenths behind Icewind. He might just be able to catch out a podium at the very end of the race. He will probably not be able to overtake Bogdan, so Bogdan will extend his lead in the Drivers' Championship, but the two Red Bull drivers will extend the lead in the Constructors if it was to finish in the way we predicted to finish. So it's been a decent race overall for Justin, especially considering he started around P12. But here we go, Justin with that DRS.
Danny has also just got past Bogdan, past Owen, so this is definitely kicking off now.
Yeah, so it was expected to see Owen getting overtaken by Danny with no sweat at all. And here we have Justin overtaking Icewind, as we just saw on the screen, with little to no effort as well down the start-finish straight with that DRS. Now Justin's next target is to catch up to Bogdan, or at least catch up to Owen, who is getting caught by Bogdan quite quickly now.
Have a look what happens. All I'm gonna say is I think this race is far from over. We do have under 10 laps left now, but I'm gonna tell you, Strix, this is an amazing race around town. I don't think we could have wished for much better than this.
So it's the nature of Tier 1. They always produce very interesting races for sure, and we have had a few spinners today in the safety car. A little bit of drama in the mix as well. A little bit of difference between tire strategy, everything. We had a bit of everything this race, but it's been really good to watch so far at least, and we have 8 laps left of this race. Will Owen manage to keep his podium position? or will Justin be able to catch Owen? That is the big question on everyone's minds right now.
I honestly, personally, all I'm going to say is, I'm not biased, right? But all I'm going to say is, I would absolutely love to see one of those Red Bulls on that podium. I would honestly love that. I think that would be something amazing. That's just what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I guess that's a little bit of bias there. No, but it's okay. They've had a brilliant race, and it's sort of he's come from the back, Justin, from P12, I believe it was, and being in P4 now, potentially in podium finishing position, has been a great race from him. He's played the strategy absolutely perfect so far. All he needs to do is just see if his pace is able to last him to the end of the race. He's dropping back a bit though from Bogdan, I've noticed. So he might be preserving his tires a little bit and then hoping for a final push come the last 4 laps or so.
The current problem is Dragon isn't catching Icewind. Dragon, who's supposed to have the superior pace because of his qualifying position, isn't catching up to Icewind. So that's going to be where it's really dead. Let's see if Icewind goes for a move here. I doubt he will. No, he doesn't. Those mediums just not really in the right position for that yet. But Dragon needs to catch up to Icewind as soon as possible, because if he doesn't, first of all, they're going to lose points. Second of all, that's just going to make Justin's race a lot harder.
That is true, and I think the reason Dragon's not managed to make his way past Icewind yet is because that Justin's not being able to pull that 1 second gap that we all think he would get, because he did a pretty easy overtake. And that's been keeping Icewind in the DRS of Justin, and Dragon's not been able to overtake due to this DRS train effect that happens when he's close by. But we jump onto Bogdan now, who's only 5 tenths behind Owen, and I think it's a question of sooner rather than later when he will overtake.
You definitely think so, but I mean...
That's Ocean Chief off the road there, but he manages to rejoin. His car is ghosted, so that shouldn't bother the drivers, but here we go. Bogdan on Owen.
Should be an overtake. We'll see. Does Owen defend? I doubt he will. Yeah, Owen isn't defending. I honestly do think Owen is still playing a bit of the long game. But we'll see. We'll see what Owen does. But I think a good finishing position, if Owen can somehow catch get a podium. But otherwise, I think he'll just be happy to finish in the top 5.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Owen was in P1 positions when the safety car came out. He, however, was on the soft tires, and the other drivers were on mediums. So they were able to run this race a little bit longer. But as we see in Icewind, he was also a soft tire runner. He's managed to make pretty good pace on these tires, and he's done well for himself. So I do believe that Owen, had he done the soft to medium strategy, might have been in P1 still. But we can say so many things. He decided to go for this strategy, and he currently has to deal with it. But it still looks like he's in for a very strong podium finishing position.
I know we were talking about that move of Koss on Icewind, and I think if Koss keeps this close enough, I think we might just see it in the next straight. Might just see it. He has the gap. He can theoretically do it. If he dumps his battery, this is still possible. This overtake is still possible. Let's see. Does Koss go for it? DRS wide open. Does he go? Come on, Koss. Are you dumping your battery? Are you going to go for a move? No, he doesn't. He could have stuck his nose in there, but he decides not to. And that Alfa Romeo of Suica, I still not say his name, gets out of the way as he has a back corner. Yeah, I mean, what a race. Honestly, what a race. And the fact that what surprised me is Icewind can stay within a second of Justin. And that, have a look, Justin is barely catching Owen. What has happened with his pace? I mean, that gap has been, it is slowly going down, but I mean, it isn't like a second a lap. It is, going down a lot slower than we would think. So Owen might still have a podium position here, if he's played his cars correctly.
Yeah, Justin would have to catch Owen more than a second a lap now to even think about overtaking Owen. Has just been is this Icewind again having issues? No, wait, is this Danny? Has Danny spun it? Danny has spun it. He's lost his front wing, so Danny in the lead of the race has managed to bottle it with 5 laps to go. This was his win to take. And he runs into the pit lane with the outer front wing and has to change that and see where he comes out. But that's promoted Bogdan up to the lead. Owen in P2, Justin in P3 now, so he will get that podium position. Icewind might even try and fight back a little bit harder now, because there's a bit more motivation now to get a podium finish when this happens. Danny comes out of the pits, and he comes out in 8th position. So Danny has managed to throw away what was looking like an easy win for him.
See, that is the lethal thing about Zandvoort, is, you know, you're 1 second you're comfortable and you think you have the race in your hand, and the next second you're off spinning, and you have to pit because you don't have a front wing. And that is what's so deadly. I mean, Owen now, I mean, he's pretty comfortable, isn't he? He has, you know, he's P2, he's absolutely fine with that. You know, he would be more than delighted with that. With his strategy, he'd be more than delighted. And I mean, if Dragon can get past Icewind, he'll be P4, which he should be happy with as well. So, it looks like it's gone everyone's way except for Danny, who's now in P8.
Yeah, and Danny, he won his first ever SLR race not so many weeks ago. He was on for a 2S race win today. He's managed to bottle it like he always does. I'm sorry, Danny, if you're watching, but no, it's just
What's the Red Bull? No, he doesn't.
A little bit of a cheeky passing comment. But anyways, Icewind very close to the back of Justin. It is surprising, as you said. Icewind keeping up with Justin, even though it's on medium tires and they're older than those soft. I'm not sure what's happened. It looked like Justin had a great amount of pace, overtook Icewind, and then as soon as he overtook Icewind, was not able to pull a gap.
That is surprising. And I mean, the fact that Justin probably won't be able to catch Owen now, because that, you know, he'll be having to catch 2 seconds a lap on softs already 8 laps old. And this is what I was talking about, Strix, is, you know, although their strategy works good, Owen has secured himself a position on that podium. Why? Because he just played it smarter long term, and that's all you need to do. I see a battle here between Pixel and Torska. Not for points, but it is maybe for egos. Is there contact? It was very close, as Pixel barely scrapes past Torska, and that is Pixel passed. Pixel 18 seconds off points. I have a slight feeling he isn't getting in this race, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he's having a great time fighting Torska there in that car, as Hammer picks up a 3-second time penalty, but it doesn't look like anyone's close enough to make that a significant one. And let's jump back to the Red Bull fight, and it looks like Justin almost under attack from Icewind yet again. Dragon trying around the outside, but he's still not able to make that move stick. And I was hoping I would get Aceboy and Danny fighting, and looks like I jumped to the wrong battle, as Aceboy does manage to get overtaken by Danny, but that's not a surprise, as Danny is on 1 lap old, fresh softs compared to 28 laps old hard tires. But Justin built a bit of a gap now to Icewind, but Dragon right up behind Icewind here.
I think on that previous lap that we saw, I think Justin might have tried backing Icewind into Dragon, and it just didn't quite work out for him. But see, this part of the track, the third sector is where Dragon loses all his pace. Just look at that gap extend. Dragon needs, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to insult him, but he needs to pick up his pace in that sector if he wants a chance at getting P4. He isn't quite fast enough. That's the problem currently. Torska and 2S Pixel here again. Pixel now looking for a move. Torska probably got past him again. Can Pixel do it again?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm gonna have to jump to this battle for the podium position, as Icewind jumps ahead of Justin. Justin gets overtaken by Icewind, so he loses out on his podium position. The 2 Red Bull drivers now back to back yet again. 1 lap to go. Was this premature of Icewind? Should he have waited another lap? Because now Justin can fight back on the final lap if he's able to stay within those 3/10 that's needed. But what a brilliant overtake from Icewind, having managed to keep up with Justin this whole time. Can he keep it ahead until the start-finish line when the flag is waved? We'll have to wait and see, but this battle is not over yet for the final podium position.
It is not over yet, but you know what is over? I think P1 and P2 decently set in stone. Beautiful race from both Bogdan and Owen, putting them P1 and P2. Owen starting P1, of course. Bit of a dodgy strategy, but he made it work to his advantage. Now, we're almost heading on to the final lap. Can you believe that? I mean, time has flown by, hasn't it, Strix?
Yeah, it's been a great race to watch, that's for sure. And I'm just looking at the minimap, and I don't want to jump out of this battle, as this could be quite crucial. But Pixel and Torska had a bit of a fight as well. And is Dragon now going to overtake Justin? We'll have to wait and see. Does he play the team game here, or does he send one up the inside? It looks like he's playing the team game, so not quite thinking of a move just yet. Does Dragon, but both Red Bull drivers getting solid points. But it looks like Justin has just lost a bit more pace compared to the other 2 drivers. But we're on the final lap now. Are they able to do anything before the race is over? I would say most likely not, as the main overtaking opportunity has been taken away. So we'll have to wait to see if Icewind, or sorry, Justin can capitalize on a mistake from Icewind if Icewind does make a mistake.
Red Bulls they tried something and it didn't work out. I think that has cost them majorly at this point. Yeah, Bulls wanted to be on that podium, but as you said, I don't think they are. As Bogdan here is coming across the last 2 corners, is going to be, of course, one regular and then one steeply banked, as we know it. And Bogdan is the race winner of the 2S Zandvoort race. Look at him weaving. He is your winner. P2 goes to Owen. What's going to happen with Icewind? Is he going to take it?
Icewind does take P3, and Justin Dragon right behind each other for P4, P5. That was a close little drag race we had at the end. Hammer comes home in P6, almost actually losing out to Danny, who was only 7 seconds. Oh, Danny is... Okay, I feel like Danny doesn't want to score points today, as he is a reserve, so he's letting Ace Boy, Larson, and Tipsy, all of which are reserve drivers, cross the line ahead of him to try and gain some points. I actually think he's waiting for Pixel to pick up 1 point, as Pixel is a full-time driver. So here comes Pixel. Around the final few corners now. Is he going to get this P10 position? It looks like he might, just as Danny has broken down. Or is he cheesing him a little bit? No, okay, he's waiting for Pixel. And across the line goes Danny. Oh, this is Alfa Romeo crash on start finish straight there. I don't really know what that's about, but oh, he's okay. Danny's doing Danny things.
But Danny's doing Danny. He's gonna get disqualified from this race, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But Strix, what a race that was. Yeah, Bogdan, Owen playing it brilliantly. Both Red Bulls kind of screwing themselves and letting Icewind pass to get into P3. Brilliant drive from Icewind as well. P4, P5, Justin and Dragon. They should be further extending that constructor's lead. And then P6, Hammer. P7, Aceboy. P8, Larson. And it didn't give me time to read the rest. But what a grid.
Pixel rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, Pixel rounded out the top 10. What a race, isn't it?
It was indeed. The says driver of the day was Aceboy. I don't know. I'm inclined to give it to Icewind, to be honest. He had a brilliant finish the race, and let's not discount Bogdan either. He managed to go from P3 to P1 while there was chaos. I was gonna give it to Danny because he had a brilliant race for him, but obviously he didn't happen that well. But Justin as well in P13 had a brilliant race as well, but he just lost out on that podium at the end. I think Icewind's stint makes him the driver of the day for me, even though Justin did have a brilliant race. I'm not going to discount that, but I think Icewind just he stepped up when he needed to and got that P3 podium position. So as you were saying earlier, here are the top 10.
Top 10. P1 then Bogdan, P2 Owen, P3 Icewind, 4th is Kos, and followed right behind him is the Dutchman of Dragon. He'll be decent with that P5. P6 Hammer, P7 Aceboy from Belgium, P8 Larson, P9 Tipsy Bob, 10 Pixel, and that is your top 10 for the race.
The rest of the drivers, Torska and Danny and Zuka, who finished the race, I mean the people who disqualified or DNF, the Ocean Chief, Nico Fox, Slapbands, and Vito. I'm going to quickly go to the race director, show everyone the incidents that's been, for anyone who might want to appeal something. Not been too many incidents, a very clean race to be fair. So, well done to the drivers.
Zandvoort, that's very clean. For the fact that they're racing in Zandvoort, that is very clean. Applause to them. Strix, thank you very much that I could come commentating as well. I hope I wasn't too bad. I hope I can join again. That was really fun. I hope you'd allow me to come join again some night. I think it would be amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I'll tag in the commentators chat next time we have a fun race here on the channel. But I'm looking forward to see what you're able to do in ACC tomorrow. It's a very interesting format we have going, and it's nice to get you a bit into the 2S community, trying to get you a bit of a commentating experience before you start leading it tomorrow. And you will have a co-commentator. His name will be John. He's done the other ACC stuff before, so he is somewhat experienced in it as well. So I look forward to hearing that. I'm currently in the interview screen. I don't believe we're doing any interviews, as there's actually no one in chat who seems to want to be doing interviews. But I will round out the stream here. So thank you very much, Panda, for joining. It's been a great pleasure to commentate with you. And I'm sure the people watching back will enjoy your commentating antiques as well. And thank you everyone who was in the chat. during the race as well, trying to engage with a little bit with the stream and all that. So let's round it out now, and just want to quickly say, tune in tomorrow at 7:30 CET PM. So that is 6:30 UK time for Panda's ACC rendition of his commentating.
Oh, you guys are going to absolutely love it. You guys are going to absolutely love it. Just trust me.
Indeed, and there it is. So you will absolutely love it. It's a Nations Cup, an amazing concept, if I do say so myself. I'm not going to try and ride my own high here, but it was a concept that we came up with quite a few months ago with one of the then managers, and he had to step down, unfortunately, due to not having the time to. But we brought back the concept. We thought we had 4 weeks until Christmas. What do we fill the ACC void that so many drivers here desire? And we thought, well, let's bring on this Nations Cup. So it is 4 races, 4 different formats, 4 nations going head to head at 4 different tracks, and it's going to be absolutely brilliant. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow. If not, tune in on Tuesday for the Tier 2 race, and then again next Sunday for the Tier 1 race. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.